Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Rush Hour podcast on this Monday, January 13th, 2025. Here's a list of the stories I've got for you for your Rush Hour ride to work. All your California wildfire updates, plus a lot in the Bachelor world as Bachelor star Kelsey Anderson quashes rumors about her and Bachelor Joey, all the while donating to the victims of the wildfire, plus the big Heidi and Spencer Pratt story, how the tragedy of losing their home in the wildfire led to Heidi's music career taking off on TikTok. Listen, they were the most hated couple on your TV screens 15 years ago, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's a heartwarming story you're going to want to hear. And speaking of TikTok, now that the Supreme Court upheld the decision to ban TikTok, I'll explain exactly what this means, as a lot of people still really don't know what's up in the air in the next couple weeks. That's supposed to take effect, January 19th? A couple days away. Plus, Bachelor podcaster Nick Viall shares the details about his water fast that nobody asked for. Leave it to Bachelor Nick, right? The one thing we have a shortage of in Los Angeles is water, and he's going to tell us that that's the only thing he's consuming. All right, I got that story and so much more. It's all coming up next on The Rush. Well, following the debut of her hosting at the Golden Globes, looks like Nikki Glaser is going to be welcomed back. How about this? She was paid, as they say, for her first year hosting the Golden Globes, $400,000. So she got paid more than the president gets all year in one night. Not too shabby. I don't know if that includes all the monologuists that she brings with her and all of the different people that come together to make the writing process work. But either way, she was fantastic. She did a great job. They say they're going to actually up the amount they pay her for next year, and they want her to come back for years to come. So how about that? You know what I mean? She did great. And then, I'm sure every year she can build on top of it. She's got the voice. She can do some song and dance, and she can tell a great joke. We love it. Congrats to Nikki Glaser. All right, here's your TikTok update. The Supreme Court voted to uphold the decision to get rid of the app. But does that mean it's just going to go away? Let's go to ABC News, see what they have to say.
Not illegal to use the app, and it won't be a crime to have TikTok on your device if it is banned. As for what happens to the app itself, that's not entirely clear. Even TikTok's lawyer wasn't 100% sure. He told the Supreme Court he believed the app would go dark and disappear, which is what happened in 2020 when India banned the app. But tech experts say that may not be the case here. Apple and Google Play stores will no longer be able to carry the TikTok app, so you'll no longer be able to download it. If you do have the app, you won't be able to get software updates, and it will be illegal for internet hosting companies and data storage providers to service TikTok, or they'll face hefty fines. Now, over time, that will erode the functionality of the app. It will become glitchy and slow and basically be obsolete. There are some workarounds, though, if you really want access. You can log on to TikTok's website from a web browser like Safari, but that's going to be a stripped-down version of the app and a very different user experience. You can also use a VPN.
All right, so VPN. By the way, if you're a VPN creator, hey, sponsor podcast. We could do a VPN deal, you know what I mean? Get you some good, hey, if you want to use TikTok, you need a VPN. Listen, people like TikTok. I don't know if they like it this much where they want to be bouncing their IP address off of the Great Wall of China just to see someone do a booty shake of a dance we all learned. You know what I mean? I don't know, but this kind of feels like, the Y2K. Remember December 31st, 1999? We're all just crossing our fingers, seeing if the world was going to end, right? We thought it was all going to end in a glitch. And now TikTok doesn't know if it's going to go dark this Friday. Unbelievable. I guess we'll find out. I mean, maybe this is them playing hardball, trying to negotiate with somebody to buy the app. I still don't even know if they sell the app, if they sell the app to an American company, is it too little too late? I have no idea. Either way, I do feel bad for my content creator friends who make a living off of TikTok. Anyhow, let's move it on. Here's some good news. You guys want good news? Let's do some good news before we get to some of the tougher stories from the California wildfires. Liz Kreutz on Twitter and Instagram, she went super viral. She posted this video. She says, the best news, fire victim Casey Colvin, whose home burned down in the Palisades fire, just found and reunited with his dog Oreo, who spent 5 nights surviving amidst the rubble. Let's play a clip of this very viral clip of Casey Colvin finding his best friend.
It's Tika Tika! It's Tika Tika! It's Tika Tika! Hi, Boo-Boo! How's the fire?
How's the fire?
Oh, honey!
All right, and so for those listening to audio only, he's hugging his dog, and pretty hysterical. I don't blame him. He lost his home. This is all he has is this little fur ball. And he's dancing in the streets. What a moment. So, of course, every comment was just people crying, going, oh, my gosh, because we all know what it's like if you've had a dog or lost a dog or, have a dog with health issues or whatever. We love them. They're unconditional love. And this dog braved the 5 days in the worst wildfire in the history of California. As long as California's been a part of this country, at least since they've kept records, it's the worst, most devastating and costly fire that they've ever had, or at least in Los Angeles, I should say. And either way, I mean, this dog's a hero. Can we get, Puppy Chow to sponsor this dog or something? Can we get him his own TikTok? So very happy for them. Great news. All right, let's go to Bachelor. So there was rumors dancing around the internet that Bachelor star Kelsey Anderson had called it quits with her fiance, Joey Graziadei. Of course, he's been on this past season, or what? Did he win it? Past season of Dancing with the Stars? I can't even remember. I just forget these things. And everyone in Bachelor Nation is always just like waiting for couples to break up. You know why? Because, the relationships just don't work out. It's not a great formula. But she released this video in part to say, we're still together. And I'm going to share a clip of that. And it's her talking about the volunteer work they're doing, looking for donations for the LA Dream Center. So good for her. Here's what she had to say.
So Joey and I are back in LA now. We had to evacuate, unfortunately, due to the LA fires. But thanks to the amazing first responders, we are able to come back because the fires near us have subsided. But I know that the fires are still growing in other areas. So we are doing what we can to get back to our community. So we are going to go pick up some donations today. I don't typically post a whole lot about volunteering because I don't think that you always need to. I think sometimes it's just, doing what feels right in your heart. But I do think that it is important sometimes to post about it because I think that it helps inspire people or spark that.
So I agree. This is the time to discuss what you're doing to help out. People can all have different ideas. Halle Berry's donating her whole closet, and that's great. People lost their whole livelihood. People can't get back into their homes. So there's plenty of different ways if you live in SoCal that you can donate. When the time is right, there'll be GoFundMes. I mean, they already exist, but there'll be plenty of places that you can put your energy, your love, your money, whatever equity you have. The other video that she made was actually interesting. Someone said, "Where is your engagement ring?" And here's her response.
Ow.
Oh, hold on a second. I lost it there. They said, "Where's your engagement ring?" And here's her response.
Where is it? I don't know. I'm scared. What the heck? I'm joking. I'm just not wearing it. And you know what that means? It means I'm still engaged.
Yeah, it means nothing. That's exactly what her whole video is. It means nothing to not have your ring. Now, look, I mean, depending on what engagement ring you have, they give them these 4-carat rings. Maybe you don't want to travel with it. Maybe you don't want to work out with it. Maybe the prongs are loose and you don't wear it. Everyone's always looking into details as to where the rocky waters are, and it's confirmation bias because eventually people break up on The Bachelor. That's what happens. Not every relationship makes it. There's a couple right now that are doing well. We're happy for them. Charity and Dotun, Kelsey and Joey, whoever was on the latest season, I already forgot, right? So it's like, that's a good thing. It's good that they're working right now, and everyone should just back off them and let them live their life. Sometimes people do break up and sometimes they no longer wear their engagement rings. That's okay too when that happens. But there's your update. And I really do have a lot of Bachelor news here. Let's just go to this clip. It was making the rounds. This is Nick Viall announcing he's doing a water fast, which means he's, I guess, for 3 days not eating anything and just drinking water. And to be honest, I've heard good things about, fasting in different cultures is good. It can be good for your gut. It's a way to clear things out and repair. People will tell you it's good. People say it's not. It's like, dude, there's people that live to 100 years old who smoke a pack of cigarettes every day. And then there's healthy people who, can't make it, whatever, you know what I mean? But here he is.
I haven't eaten in 36 hours. So that's fun. I started a water fast. I'm not recommending it to anyone. This is not some sort of do this with me. But it is what? Whatever.
I have a question.
What?
I'm raising my hand. Why?
It's supposed to be really healthy for you. It's supposed to decrease your chance of cancer. It's supposed to be really good for inflammation. It's supposed to be good for decreasing your chance of Alzheimer's and things like that. It just has a lot of health benefits to occasionally fast.
And how long does this last?
My mom did it first. I think the original one is just a 7-day fast where you just drink water and bone broth and electrolytes. I'm on 36 hours. My goal is 4 days, my goal is like 80 some hours.
So there it is. I mean, everyone's doing weird new stuff for the new year. Hey, your boy's down 6 pounds. Not that I'm counting a little bit here, but hey, I put on some dad weight. You know what I mean? That stress eating that started literally as my wife's in birth. I had a 12-pack of donuts just waiting. All right, you know what I mean? It's like she's like dilated. I'm my throat's dilated as I just chuck down glazed donuts. But hey, I bought them for the nurses. I was like, I'll bring them sweets, and then nobody wanted them because they're all healthy. And I'm like, I guess I'll just eat. And then it's been a full 8 months of nothing but putting weight on. So I am switching it up. So good on Nick, good on everyone else out there doing anything you can in your life to try to make this world a better place, right? All right, well, let's move it on. So Kim Kardashian blasting, and we'll have a lot of wildfire conversation today and probably for the rest of the week because it's the greatest or one of the greatest, I think what they say is the third most costly natural disaster in the history of the U.S. at this point. I'm not sure entirely, but it's not looking good, and the Santa Ana winds are picking up again. As I'm recording this, I'm not sure about the updates on which fires are contained at which levels, so go seek out actual news. There's a lot of news stations that are live streaming like literal 24-hour coverage of it, but I'm going to share next what Kim Kardashian had to say bashing the incarcerated firefighters, or at least the people that aren't paying them a livable wage. We'll have that story next. Kim Kardashian, a big advocate for the incarcerated, posted this on her Instagram. The incarcerated firefighters have been paid $1 an hour to risk their lives, and this pay has been the same since 1984. It has never been raised with inflation. It's never been raised when fires got worse and many died. This year, there was an agreement to raise the incarcerated firefighter pay to $5 an hour, but it got shot down last minute. I'm urging California governor to do what no governor has done in 4 decades and raise the incarcerated firefighter paid to a rate that honors a human being risking their life to save our lives and homes. Hey, good on her. Good on her for using her capital, her political capital or social media capital to raise awareness. And we covered this story the other day. They make up something like 20 or 30% of the firefighters that are fighting the wildfires. And, it's a good program to have incarcerated people help out, but it shouldn't be looked at like we already have a problem with the for-profit prison industrial complex, right? The system that's like designed to make people money, and it doesn't really reform the people that have to go to jail. People fall on bad times, they make bad decisions, and if possible, in most cases, I think people can learn their lessons and be good citizens if they can get back out there and have those opportunities. And right now, it looks pretty exploitative to have, people making billions and then less than the minimum wage. And it's like we obviously take away, I say we, the government takes away the rights of people who are incarcerated, right? If you're a felon, you can't vote in most states. And I think some of these laws have to change. I think we need to change the way we look at people that have been put in jail and find a way to get them back into the into the working class, right? I mean, does this sound right to everybody? We already have, we live in a country where I think we have more incarcerated people per capita than any other country. That's not a good thing. We're not a dangerous place to live. We're a great first world country. Why are there so many people arrested? You know what I mean? Anyhow, we're going to get into a story that's really interesting. This is Heidi Montag. Remember her? Her and Spencer Pratt are still happily in love. They're married. They got kids. You wouldn't have thought so if you watched the show they were on 15 years ago. They lost their home in the wildfire, but thanks to TikTok, they've been going viral sharing their story. Heidi Montag hits #1 on iTunes as Spencer Pratt asks fans to stream her music for income help after their house burned down. And this is what's great. I think the generosity that exists out there is amazing. When people can't help, they want to. You see GoFundMes that go viral. When a story really goes viral about how to help someone, people want to help. And they did just that. So they released her album 15 years ago, something crazy like that, but it still exists online. So Spencer says, hey, you guys can buy this. It'll go to our bank account. They don't have insurance for their home. And people said, we got you. And then here is Spencer's, I'm going to share Spencer's response in a second. Here's what Heidi Montag had to say, finding out her song that she made 15 years ago just hit #1 on iTunes.
Okay, thank you so much to everyone. #1 on iTunes charts. Oh my gosh, thank you for the overwhelming love and support of my music. and really rallying behind us in this devastating time and making it such a blessing. So thank you for helping support us, helping build us back up, helping to encourage us.
Yeah, I mean, what a world we live in where people online, they see this tragedy playing out and you just don't know how to help. You can't pick up a fire hose from across the country. What can you do? Well, you can support the people that lost everything in different ways. So coming up next, I'm going to share what Spencer had to say. It was very interesting because he actually breaks down at the very end of this video I'm going to share with you. It's quite interesting. They've lost it all, folks. And, we shared a video a few days ago of him going, what do you do when your house burns down? You buy bagels. And he was making jokes, but you can really see the levity in his thanks that he gives right here. Have a listen to this.
Just to I'm trying to say calm and not wake up the kids. We spent all of our money on this album, Superficial, 15 years ago, 3 days ago. So January 10th, 2010, it came out. We weren't trying to be reality stars. We were like, we are going to make Heidi a pop star. We were a team. Every night when you thought you're watching The Hills, we were in the recording studio working with the best Kathy Dennis, LP, Stacey Barth, Steve Morales, all these legendaries, the greatest mixers in the world, Dave Pensato, Jason Joshua, Ariel Chobas. Every dollar we made from The Hills, we put into this album, Superficial. And for it to freaking finally get #1 in America, 15 years after, do you know how many times we've cried and how much regret we've had about spending all of our money and investing it and believing in Heidi's music, even though we knew it was so good? And for it to finally come out and be a fucking...
And then he has a full-on, well, you could call it a breakdown, but I think he's just flooded with the gratitude of the situation. A blessing, a literal miracle comes out of the sky by strangers supporting his wife's music they thought was kind of a dud 15 years ago. But who knows? They just invested a little early, and now is the time for that success to kind of really materialize. And I need to materialize our sponsor. We're very happy to have back Viall. This new year, unwind and recharge with Viall. Whether you're enjoying a quiet evening at home or embracing bold New Year's resolutions, Viall's premium THC and THC-free gummies will help you find your perfect balance. Viall is well renowned for their award-winning THC and THC-free gummies, vapes, THCA flower, soothing topicals, and calming drops, all crafted with the highest quality hemp sourced from trusted, independently owned American farms. The best part, Viall legally ships to nearly all states in the U.S. in discreet packaging, directly to your door with a worry-free guarantee. No medical card required. Gift yourself some peace of mind in the new year. If you're 21 plus, check out the link to Viall in our description and use code RUSHHOUR to receive 15% off. You know me, I've been doing the lion's mane. They got one for focus, right? It's CBD only. They got lion's mane in it. That's my favorite. I'll pop those all day long, and they're delicious. After you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support the show. Tell them the Rush Hour podcast sent you. This season, enjoy your everyday with Viall. Up next, we have Jennifer Gardner explaining why she's got survivor's guilt. Her home is still standing, unlike her friends, and also, when asked, she kind of dodged the question, but she knew somebody who passed away, not ready to talk about it yet. Here's what she had to say.
How has it been for you? And I know you lost a friend.
I did lose a friend, and for our church, it's really tender, so I don't feel like I should talk about her yet. But,
Got it.
yeah, I did lose a friend who did not get out in time. And,
Well, how has it been for you just to see all this?
it's just, my heart bleeds for my friends. I mean, I can think of 100 families, and there are 5,000 homes lost. I could just write out a list of 100 friends who lost their homes. It's just like, I feel almost guilty walking through my house, just, what can I do? How can I help? What can I offer? What do I have to offer with these hands and these walls and the safety that I have?
I think the fact that she's asking those tough questions, I think that's what's the important thing, right? And in non-important things, one of the dumbest stories to come out of this wildfire is this culture war where people are trying to get mad at David Muir for having clothespins on the back of his jacket that he wore. And Megyn Kelly said, quit trying to pretend to be a fireman. And other people were saying, don't you realize that's just a weather jacket with a reflector on it? Either way, here's what TJ Holmes and Amy Robach had to say about the very standard protocol of having maybe a hair and makeup person pin your jacket back. Have a listen.
Be missing if you're just reading tweets. The perspective might be missing in that oftentimes, and I don't know if he does, travel with a producer or even a wardrobe person sometimes whose job is you might be looking at your phone, getting the latest, or on the phone or looking at notes or doing something, and people are pulling and plugging things onto you, the mic and the IFB and all these things. You don't even know what's happening to you. And someone could have made the decision to just, let me do this with the jacket. We just don't know. But just a little context, the guy works his butt off. If you don't like what he did, fine. This is a lot to be piling on to this.
Yeah, and look, it's not people that don't like what he did. You have to understand, it's people fishing for culture war topics. And by culture war, I mean things that don't actually matter. You see this all the time in politics where debates are sort of overtaken by people that just want to have outrage. Why? Because sometimes outrage sells. Oh my gosh, can you believe what he's doing, or what are they doing? And usually the story is more nuanced and really not that salacious, should I say. So either way, yeah. And here's the deal. Here's my take. David Muir, I think, works out of New York City, right? Chances are he doesn't travel with a stylist. Chances are ABC or whatever news station he's on has their LA affiliates, and they say, hey, can we get a wardrobe person? David Muir is going to be reporting live from the scene. And then they get some wardrobe person who wants to keep their job. So they're there doing their thing, pretending that they're fluffing things up. I can't tell you how many times I've been on a film set where there's just somebody combing your hair just to make it look like they're doing their job in between takes. And if you tell them, hey, stop that, I don't need it, they're going to say, well, it's not up to you. I just need to make sure, you need job security. So someone puts a couple of clothespins on his back to make the shirt look big, or maybe the stylist brought the wrong size and he looked kind of baggy in it. I mean, the dumbest things in the world. What I want to help teach people is this. We can't teach people to not follow fake news. We can't teach people to know, all we can do is try to educate each other on critical thinking skills. That's really it. So when you see Megyn Kelly getting upset at what he wore and why he had clothespins on, just remember, unless you're if you're a comedy show and you're having fun with it, who cares, right? But she's trying to, she has a big audience of millions of people. Just try to educate those. If anyone of your friends share news that's not real, just to say, hey, you need to look at where the source is coming from. Now, sadly, the next story I'm going to share is quite interesting because you've got multiple people in the California wildfire community, that being the governor, the mayor, the fire chief, sort of placing blame in different directions. There's a huge petition to get the mayor removed from office, a little bit less so with the governor. And then there's people, again, trying to make a culture war issue out of whether or not the firefighter, the chief firefighter should have the job. Well, here is LA fire chief responding, and she is not playing politics here. She's giving it out how it is. She's responding to how the city failed her department.
We took a
Have a listen to this.
$17 million budget cut. And as we know, any budget cut would negatively impact our ability to carry out our mission. I want to also clarify that I'm not a politician. I'm a public servant. It's my job as the fire chief of the Los Angeles City Fire Department to make sure that our firefighters have exactly what they need to do their jobs. And that's why I'm talking to you today. The Palisades fire, everybody's seen it. It is absolutely one of the most horrific natural disasters in the history of Los Angeles. And
yeah, look, here's my take on this, right? The fires aren't even out. They're barely contained, and the winds are picking back up. There's literally fire tornadoes and hurricane standard winds. So we just live in this world where everyone wants answers right away. okay, we're going to find out. We're going to sift through the information and find out where things were failed and what needs to be done to improve and this and that, right? That's all going to happen. But right now, all the resources have to go to fighting this thing and stopping it, and then the rebuild can happen. So just remember, if you're getting on the keyboard, ready to get mad, sure, express your emotions however the hell you want. But also have a little grace that in a 24/7 news cycle, sometimes you don't know, it's okay. You can embrace not having an opinion or not having all the information. We'll get there. All right, I'll be back this afternoon. I got a lot of content coming your way. Trust me, we're going to have a very busy day on YouTube, and then I'll be back this afternoon for your rush hour ride home. I'm Dave Neal, and this was The Rush.